So I have an inkling. 49ers might be for real. 49ers might be Super Bowl contenders. What do you think about that? 35-7 over Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hey, just like 5-6 hours ago, Tom Brady was walking down this hallway acting like a kid. I mean, he was like a kid that grew up in the Bay Area. Wouldn't you know it? He was taking pictures of everything. He was walking up to the 49ers legends that he saw. I saw Tom Brady right by Bryant Young before the game, and he was in his happy place. And then just a few hours later, the 49ers knocked Tom Brady out of his happy place. They hit Tom Brady 7 times in this game, despite the fact that Brady was just throwing checkdowns and screens 90% of the time. That is absolutely remarkable. This 49ers defense is an overpowering unit. Now, they really wanted a sack. They couldn't get a sack because Brady's elite at getting rid of the football. By the way, that's the wall right there that Tom Brady took a picture of on his way into the stadium. So I told you, he was walking down this very hallway. Tom Brady, on his way from the bus, took a picture of that wall right behind me. But anyway, he gets hit 7 times despite throwing checkdowns all game. The 49ers just overwhelm an injured Buccaneers front. Their defense is top tier. You look at somebody like Dre Greenlaw had 15 tackles today. He's over 100 on the season. He had an interception. Tom Brady had only 3 interceptions all year. League lowest interception rate entering this game. He threw 2 today. And the Buccaneers, the only reason this wasn't the worst loss of Tom Brady's career, which was 35 points. They lost 38-3 in 2000 against the Saints. Only reason this wasn't the worst loss of his career and a shutout is because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers got a lucky catch off of a deflection there in front of Fred Warner in the end zone. So absolutely dominant 49ers defensive performance, and obviously we got to talk about Brock Purdy. 16-21, ultra efficient. I mean, nearly 9 yards per attempt. They shut down the throwing early because they were blowing Tampa Bay out so bad. But, I mean, if Brock Purdy can continue doing what he did today, then this 49ers team can win a Super Bowl, point blank. Now, Tampa Bay and Todd Bowles, they blitzed the hell out of Brock Purdy early. Brock Purdy has shown us that he can dominate opposing blitzes. I think the Buccaneers got a little bit cocky after their cornerback blitz on the first play of the game. I think that Purdy wasn't ready for that. They drilled him. Ended up working out for the 49ers because it was a personal foul. So a little bit of a bailout for the 49ers. But Tampa Bay and Todd Bowles, who loves the blitz, decided to just keep on heating Purdy up. And starting with the 3rd and 7 to Kittle over the middle, that set up the first touchdown was McCaffrey, and then Deebo Samuel scoring the touchdown on back-to-back runs. Starting with those, with that 3rd down conversion to Kittle, Purdy was unbeatable against the blitz. Another blitz took another hit. You could tell why the 49ers talk about his guts, talk about his courage, because he beat another blitz to hit Brandon Ayuk on the pump fake, which is a filthy pump fake and double move from Brandon Ayuk to roast the Buccaneers cornerback. So the courage from Purdy to be able to defeat blitzes that opposing defensive coordinators like Todd Bowles like to just run the hell out of against rookies, that's impressive. Now the next step for Brock Purdy is going to be beating coverage. The Buccaneers dropped a bunch of guys into coverage on the interception that was nullified by the defensive holding. It was nullified. 49ers got away with one. Christian McCaffrey, I believe that was the drive where McCaffrey scored after. I can't remember exactly. I'm going to look at a drive chart a little bit later. Either way, it ended up working in the 49ers' favor. But you can be sure that defensive coordinators moving from here on out are going to try to not blitz Brock Purdy as much. He's already beaten all the blitzes. Now he's going to have to prove that he can beat the coverage. But hell, for the time being, the 49ers love what they see. He was way more efficient than Tom Brady in his first career start. Deebo Samuel injury. The initial word that I'm getting is that the 49ers are optimistic that it's not as serious as they initially feared. So we're going to keep our eyes on that. But if it's not as, if it's something like it's an ankle situation, it looks like they're looking at now. But if it's something where there are no torn ligaments, it's a sprain, they could potentially get Deebo Samuel back before the end of this season. So we're going to keep our eyes out on that because that's really, really big news. It was deflating news, but you have to give props to the 49ers defense for stepping up. And, they were out of it for a few plays after that injury. Took a gut punch, but they ended up turning it around and holding Tampa Bay out of the end zone on downs at the end of that first half after that Deebo Samuel injury. And I think that just speaks to how elite this team is. It's a short week now for the 49ers. The Seattle Seahawks just lost to the Carolina Panthers. The 49ers, with this win and that Seattle loss, can win and clinch the NFC West with a win on Seattle's turf on Thursday. Let that sink in. This escalated so quickly that the 49ers, now 9-4, can clinch the NFC West on Thursday. Now, Minnesota also lost today, so the 49ers are only one game behind Minnesota for the number 2 seed. So the 49ers got all kinds of help today from Carolina and from Detroit, who beat Minnesota. They can clinch the NFC West on a short week, which is going to be a big challenge for this 49ers team physically to bounce back. But they can also start gunning for that number 2 seed now, and that would mean a second home game in the playoffs. A home game in the first round and a home game in the second round. So I'm going to end this video, this instant reaction, as I head to the 49ers locker room the way that I started it. The 49ers are obviously Super Bowl contenders. Today they showed it in a 35-7 win over the Buccaneers. They're dominant. They've been the most efficient team in football for weeks. And the 49ers got help from other teams around the league. So now they're in the standings position to be able to set up a run in the playoffs to showcase that dominance. More soon from the 49ers locker room on what was an awesome day for the team.